Hi guys, it's Lauren J. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I like to do get ready with me style videos using products that are new to me or just need a little bit more love in my collection. Today I'm going to be using a few products that are new to me, a few products that need a little bit more love in my collection. So if you're interested in seeing that, just keep watching. Okay, so I have started out with skincare. I have done sunscreen, so I have the e.l.f. Sun Touchable Woe Glow sunscreen on. I put that on a while ago. I like to do a little bit of a pause between skincare and sunscreen, even though I think they are both vital to each other. Sunscreen is skincare, but I don't like it to pill up or mess with, things that are going on with these products that I'm putting on my face in the morning. So I take a little bit of break after doing, serum, moisturizer, all of that. I go and do something else, and then I put my sunscreen on, and then I don't even put my makeup on right away after that. I let my facial sunscreen set a little bit because I don't, again, want it to pill up under makeup. So that's what I do, and it seems to work pretty well for me. I've learned that with quite a few primers, skincare and sunscreen don't always play well with them, and giving it a little bit of time to soak in to the skin, it really helps. All of that to say is I've done those things already. I have also done my brows with the ABH Dip Brow Gel. This is the one in Taupe. Because I think brows are boring. I don't like to watch myself do them, and I don't like to waste battery filming myself doing them. So I'm going to put my hair back, which is why I have this hair tie in. And we are going to be using a lot of Chanel today because I have been picking up quite a bit of Chanel recently. So I recently picked this one up. I ordered this from the boutique at the Wynn, and this is the Beiges Sheer Healthy Glow Highlighting Fluid in Sunkissed. I've seen Allison Chase use this more than a couple of times on her channel and talk about it, and I wanted to try it because I do love the Beiges line. I especially love the Water Fresh line. This is not the Water Fresh line, but so again, this is I think it's the deeper, or at least the more golden one in Sunkissed, and it has a pump, and I just use a full pump, and I'm just going to use that as primer. And it has a very nice fresh smell. It's not heavy, it's real soft, but it is very, very nice. And I just put this all over. I'm not really using it to spot highlight, just as a glowy primer, because that's what I want right now, is just sort of, I wouldn't say minimal makeup, but just sort of lighter makeup, and I'll be using a lighter skin tint. And I am going a little bit lighter today because I have been getting a lot of sun and been in and out of the air conditioning, and my skin has just been reacting also to some new skincare. So I do just have, some places where things are going to catch and stick and look dry. So that's why I'm trying to do just something a little bit more light and luminous, because my skin has been a little bit irritated lately. So we're going to do a lighter, I'm not going to say a light eye look, and I'm going to start out with my base in the Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick. This is the one in Forbidden Rose from the Rose Gold collection, and it is a little bit less shimmery than something like Copper or Nude Rose in the regular formula, but these sticks do, whether they're matte, shimmer, or something in between, they do make really beautiful eyeshadow bases. They're also beautiful on their own, but I love them best right now as just eyeshadow bases that add a little bit of base to the lighter colors that I'm wearing. A little bit of shine, a little bit of something underneath. Just going and blending it out a little bit, not much, just softening the edges and evening it out across the lid a little bit so it doesn't crease. And I think this would be a really nice nighttime look for me. I do think it makes my eyes pop because it is It is a copper inflected rose, but for daytime I need to lighten it up a little bit, so just using it as a deeper glowy base for my eyes works for me. And as you can see, I am going into the Lorac Pro Soleil palette. This is the newest one that I have in my collection. I picked this up during the Ulta 21-day sale for half off, and this color story is beautiful. I don't know what's going on with Lorac. They just haven't put anything out. They don't put anything on their Instagram. I don't know. It's sad. I love their palettes, and I'm going to keep using them because they are still available. So this one actually is soft pearl, which is why it looks very soft pearl. And I'm just going to put that all over the lid. As you can see, there is a little bit of that shadow stick that peeks out underneath, but it's not really, it's really just there to hold this lighter shadow and do a little bit of the work of contouring in the crease. And not too heavy with this. Finger application, but not super heavy. You can leave a little bit of room for the pink to show through. And I think it just looks really rosy and lovely. The pearl and the pink kind of just show through together, and you get this sort of beautiful peachy, almost duochrome kind of color. It's really pretty. I'm going to take the Sigma E45. This is one of my favorite little crease brushes, and I'm going to go into Ash Brown here, which is the deepest matte shade in this palette, and I'm just going to go real lightly into the crease just to add some dimension to the outer V. Not going too heavy. And again, I think with this, even though it's a matte color and it's a deeper color, you can see the pearl and the pink sort of coming through. I'm going to take this matte here called Pink Beige with this fluffy crease brush, and I'm actually just going to blur out, not really highlighting, I just want to blur out the edges and just clean up the brow a little bit. This is a very, very light shade. And again, since I'm trying to have a more glowy skin, I don't want a matte shade that's really going to look chalky. So I go in pretty lightly and just sort of, also just sort of clean up around the eyes a little bit, because this does match my skin tone pretty well. Okay, and then one of the newer to me items is the Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick in Midnight Blue. This is from their new matte formula. This is the reformulated one that is supposed to last 24 hours. I don't wear makeup for 24 hours, so I don't know. But this is a beautiful shade. You can see there, it is, it usually has like a domed top, but I use it as a liner with a liner brush, so it has, you know, obviously been worn down a little bit, and I love to use this as a deep liner when I'm not using my Hyper Easy from Maybelline. I think this works really beautifully with my eye color. And this is just a little easy brush from Essence. And you can really control the intensity of the blue. So you can make it look almost black, or you can leave it to look just a little bit more navy. And there's just a little bit of flaking because this one I haven't cleaned it off, and it has some dried pigment on it, so it's just kind of accumulating, but normally you do not get this fallout at all from these shades. They're just easy and smooth to put on. But I do think it looks really pretty with those rose and pearl colors. And you can see the blue. Like I said, you can deepen it up so that it's almost black. But what's the point if you're going to buy a midnight blue? Just buy a black. And I love this Essence brush because it's cheap and it's super precise for my hooded eyes. I think it's one of the best brushes that I own for lining my eyes. And what I like about these Laura Mercier sticks is that for the most part, unless it's really, really hot or I'm really not paying attention, they do not transfer. So it's different from using a powder shadow with my hooded eyes. And you could also set this with a powdered like navy or midnight shadow if you wanted, but on its own, it's not going to transfer. I have had a little bit of transfer. Like I said, if it's super hot and I'm sweating, or if I'm just looking down a lot, but like for the most part, I do not get that transfer that I get like with a powder shadow, which for my eyes is just going to happen. And is one of the reasons that I like the Hyper Easy so much, is because it dries down quickly, it's easy to use, and I don't get transfer. And I do wish that they made that one in like a midnight blue, but they don't. They make it in black and in brown. So I have found the Laura Mercier. This is, I did not buy this to be a liner, but I find it more useful as a liner than anything else, just because I'm not going to be doing a lot of super deep midnight blue looks. Okay, so we're going to go on to face, and I am going to go into a little bit of bronze. Now I'm going to be using the Beige from Chanel, again, the Water Fresh blush. This is the one in deep bronze. I picked this up with Ulta Points recently. I've been really interested to try this as a bronzer. Obviously, it's a bit deep for my skin tone. No matter, I do love the deep apricot. I think that looks lovely. And these are pretty easy to work with. They're pretty easy to sheer out. And I just use like half a pump. Just the tiniest little dot. So this is going to last me quite a while. As you can see, it is the one with the pigment suspended in the liquid. So I'm just going to crush those pigments. And then you can see it on the back of my hand there. That is nice and deep. It's got a bit of red in it, in that bronze. And I'm just taking one of the little brushes that you get with the full-size Water Fresh tint, and I'm just dotting it on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to do a little bit of bronzing around the edge of the face and a little bit of bronzer under the cheeks. And I like to do this because I like to concentrate the deeper color in certain areas of my face. I have tried using the deep bronze mixed with the Water Fresh tint that I'm about to use, and it does work, but there's a little too much color in places where I don't really need it. So I've decided to sort of use this as like an underpainting. And you can see how much pigment I'm able to pick up on this brush and transfer over here. And it's just kind of this nice little watercolory, soft, powdery. Like, you can go pretty heavy with it if you're not careful, but you can really sheer it out. You can really make it work for you if you do have a fairer skin tone. That's what I love about these blushes and about the Water Fresh tint, is that it is really a tint, and especially with the blushes, you get that watercolor kind of effect. So, you know, even when it goes on, it might look a little bit deep, but it will even out eventually over the course of the day. And so it really works for me. The deeper shades work for me, the lighter shades work for me. They're so easy to use. I know people have issues with applying them. I get that. It does take a little bit of a learning curve, and people don't have time for that, and that's fine. You'd rather use a powder blush or some easier sort of cream blush. I just really love the formula. I think it's really cool. I think it's really fun, and it is the product that got me back into Chanel, because I do think it is just like a really fun formula to play with. And I did recently pick up the travel size of the Beiges Water Fresh tint in medium light, because I am a little deeper this summer. I actually think I could go a bit deeper than this, but this is the 0.5 ounces, and I use 2 pumps on the back of my hand. And I'm just putting it right on top of that bronze shade. And this is the Foundation 101 brush. This is the one that I picked up in the Le Pinceau set. And I just mix this on the back of my hand with this brush. This is my favorite brush for using it. And if you look at it, it is basically the same brush that comes with the Water Fresh tint in the full size. And just gonna kind of dot that on. Put it under the eyes, because I don't think I'm going to be using concealer today. I'm just putting it over the bronze color and deepening, or sorry, softening it. And this is not obviously high coverage. You can still see my red spots, my dry spots, but they're not going to stick. They're not going to be emphasized. I'm just going to look, you know, a little bit more luminous, a little bit more hydrated. And then I'm gonna go in for blush to the Water Fresh tint in Deep Apricot. And again, I just use a real little bit. I use half a pump of this. And this is one that's a little bit more terracotta, a little bit more red. Mix it together with my ring finger. And you can see it's just a really beautiful earthy shade. And this is going to go on my cheeks. And there you go. Again, you can see how it shears out on the back of the hand, and the way that it just adds a nice pop of terracotta orange to your face. Now, if you're not into something quite this deep for summer, what I do is I take the Laura Mercier blush color Infusion in Chai. This is the one that is, they call it a dirty matte rose. I think it's just like a really nice like dusty rose shade. This is the blush brush from also the Le Pinceau set that came out with the limited edition case, and I just take a bit of this and just sort of run it over, and it's more neutral, leaning cool toned, but more neutral, and you can take that warmth down if you want. You don't have to. Again, I'm not looking to heavily powder this. I just, you know, I'm just looking to cool it down a little bit. And you don't really need to set these things either. It's not really required. So I don't use much. And I don't have to use much. And it's not a super deep shade anyway on me, so it's not going to do too much to change it, but it will just sort of set it, cool it down, make it a little bit less intense if that's what you want. I have just gone out with, you know, this straight on my cheeks, nothing set, nothing, you know, just setting spray, that's it. So sometimes I use this and sometimes I don't. All right, so that is pretty much it for the base. I'm gonna go back into the eyes right now. I'm gonna go into the color Cinnamon here with this flat shader brush. This is the E23 from Sigma, and I'm just going to push a little bit of that under the lower lash line. Just to give some warmth under the eyes without going too deep. It's just something that I've been appreciating lately and that I like to do. You can use like a shimmer from like my Guerlain from the Summer Jean Quad. I love using that shade for this because it has like a bit of glow to it. But these mattes from the Soleil work beautifully too because they are so warm. Okay, so let's go into lashes. So one of my newer purchases, I again picked this up with Ulta Points. This is the Chanel Noir Allure in black. I know that a lot of people do not like this mascara. I've had 2 samples of it, and whether it's because the sample version is different or the mechanism is different, I don't know. I really adore the brush. I really adore the formula. I've fallen in love with it. Again, I picked this up with Ulta Points. It's a $42 mascara, and I mean, we'll see how long I really love it in the large format, but I have been, this mascara is right now pretty perfect for me. It washes off easily, it doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge on me. But I get it, it's a $42 mascara, and if it doesn't work for you, if it dries out too fast, yeah, no, I get that. Again, I've had 2 samples of this, and I could not stop wearing it. And so far, the full size has worked for me. But I understand that this is on a lot of people's worst Chanel products list, so I just thought I would throw my 2 cents in there. Okay, and then we'll go into lips to finish this up, and I am actually wearing the Bobbi Brown Extra Lip Tint on my lips, so that does give a little bit, I think there's a bit of pH adjusting in that. It's mostly just a clear lip balm, but it gives you a little bit of that pink. And I'm going to be using the Rouge Coco Gloss. This is 724. This is in Burnt Sugar. You can use this alone or on top of a liner or on top of a deep lipstick. I love to use it alone. I love it always, but it's really pretty. It's a really pretty, just deep shade for summer. And I really do adore the Rouge Coco glosses. I did not think I would, but I really do love them. Ever since I tried the one in Rose Neve on the recommendation of Michelle Wong, I've fallen in love with these. I think they make your lips look so plump and pretty with or without anything underneath. And I have been using the one in Melted Honey all summer. Been using this one all, you know, since I got it, and you just get the prettiest shine to your lips and the prettiest plump look. And there is nothing plumping. There's no mint, there's no scent. Well, I guess there's that Chanel scent, but there's no like plumping minty or spicy or anything in this. It's just the pigments and the formula just makes your lips look super glossy, as a gloss should. Okay, so I just went and washed my hands. I had to take a little bit of micellar water to that Laura Mercier that I had on my arm. That really does stay. And now I'm going to use a bit of the e.l.f. Game Up Shield Me Setting Mist. getting a little spotty, so I'm almost done with it. Yeah, but I think as you can see on my eyes, even though I just shut them really tightly, I haven't gotten any transfer from the Noir Allure mascara. I haven't gotten any transfer from the Midnight Blue. Again, with, you know, going through the day, you're gonna have a little bit of flaking, you're gonna have a little bit of transfer with every kind of makeup, but I don't really get it with these products. So for me, they work. And I think this is just like a really nice, it's definitely not no makeup. I definitely have makeup on, but I feel like it's very luminous. I feel like it's very easy. I feel like I'm not wearing I don't feel like I'm wearing makeup. I just feel like I just have a lot of nice, I don't know, skincare type products on my face. It's not necessarily skincare, but you know, it just feels like I have just a nice layer on my face that isn't heavy and just gives me some pretty like contouring, sculpting, whatever. All right, let's go into my summer perfumes. Now, stay with me. I'm going to start out with the Replica Under the Lemon Trees. I have finished up a full travel size of this, so I did buy a full size, and I'm just going to give a couple, 2-3 spritzes. I love the bottles, I love the aesthetic of the Replica perfumes, and I love the sort of non-perfuminess. It's like the smells like memories is their sort of tagline, and it's very much like very specific types of scents. So this does smell very, very citrusy without being sweet, and it's just very airy and light. And then I use one of 3 of these Eaux, which I have a Deauville, I have Biarritz, and this one is Venice. So Paris-Venice, obviously they all have Paris in the beginning of them. But they all have some sort of like citrus to them, whether it's like more of a grapefruit, more of a lemon, more of a mandarin. This one is a little bit more, I love the sprays on these. They're so nice. They just have this longevity. This one is a little bit spicier than Deauville or Biarritz, which are a little bit more citrus, but I love just to layer the Eaux on top of the Under the Lemon Trees to get that really summery, citrusy scent. And then on top I do the Bronze Goddess. This is the Eaux Fraiche skin scent. I've had this one forever. This is like a summer classic. It smells like suntan lotion, and I do a couple of spritzes on top because this can get very strong if you're not careful, so I like to layer it on top and then let it settle down and let the other perfumes come up later. Then you can really get the citrus, brings down the coconut a bit in this. So look, I know it's a lot of perfume. You absolutely don't have to use this much perfume. But these are very lighter scents, and they're not going to smell super heavy on you. If you use like 10 pumps of each, sure, yeah, but I just use a couple spritzes of each, and it just gives a nice sort of melange of summer scents to my skin, and sort of just a beautiful layering. And I do have a lot of perfume, and I like to just mix them and play with them and see how they work with other things, because what's the point of having them if they're just going to sit, I mean, other than just looking really pretty, there is that, but I don't want them to just sit and collect dust on my shelves. So that is the look and the scent for today. We're taking the hair down because I like the way my hair is looking recently. Do just need a little bit of a brush out, but I'm liking the way it looks loose right now, and this is what we're gonna go with. So I do need to go out and do some errands, and this is going to be a super easy makeup to do that in. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some light summer makeup. Let me know what you think of this look. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Any of those would be welcome, and all of them would be deeply, deeply appreciated. And I will see you in the next one, guys.